Alright guys, let's start with the bad news. And bad news is that we are going to go lower. Already yesterday I've noticed this 3-channel. I tweeted this chart and also posted in Telegram. So you see this one is trying to push the top of the channel. Here the price also is hovering around the top, and this channel price was very close to the bottom. Most of the time it was in the channel. After that the price actually rose above previous high, previous resistance at 5,300, but it grew almost by $200. However, there was not so many short positions liquidated or stop orders were initiated from those positions, and it means that the price didn't have any additional fuel from those positions. Instead, we didn't have enough buyers to support that. People were not excited to go in, and that's actually understandable because it could be a fake breakout and it appeared to be the one. So the market reacted very sharply, so we did go down, return to the previous channel top, and then we are actually below the 3rd channel from the top, and actually we are also below the support line of this triangle which we had before. So looks pretty much bearish to me. Of course, as we mentioned in previous videos, it could be the rise which is preceded by the shakeout of the long positions, and it still could be that, especially since we don't have that much of a volume around here, because if it would be like a massive sell-off, I would expect it something like this at least, but it's really not that impressive. But still, despite we can like return to even like 4,650 or something, I would consider to wait until we were at least with a long position, until we will return to the higher channel right here. And as soon as we will be here, then we will see like how the price will react with the resistance support levels, how the volume will look like, and so on and so forth. And if it will look positive, then we can make a long position entry. Otherwise, I think it's risky right now, the same way I was thinking that it's risky right here, which I told you guys before. Now the good news. Good news is that the longer time frame you take, the less bad it looks. So if you, for example, look at the daily chart, then there is such thing as vortex indicator, and it consists of 2 lines. Here blue line reflects the strength of the bullish trend, and red line reflects the strength of the bearish trend. So basically the downtrend is the absolute value of the current high minus prior low, and the downtrend is absolute value of the current low minus prior high. Also you need to calculate the true range, which is defined by the current candle and the previous candle. So you need to get a parameter length, and eventually you would have like a sum of those n periods of the bullish and bearish trend lines. But basically what it shows is that the bigger difference between the downtrend and uptrend indicator lines, you would see the stronger trend in general. So if the blue line is much higher than the red line, then the bulls are much stronger, and vice versa. Also, if you have the intersection of those lines, then if the red line crosses the blue line from the bottom, then it means that bull uptrend is changing to the downtrend, and vice versa. So for example, here you see the bears were very strong, and for example here on the weekly time frame you could see that here this intersection indicated that the uptrend is coming. And actually on the weekly time frame it is really representative that often this indicator shows you the false signals on the trend reversal, so you need to combine it with the other indicators, for example as MACD, and if both indicators here, this one and this one, shows the change of the trend, so here we have the bullish cross and here we have the green histogram started to appear, then it means that we basically have the more or less reliable signal to buy, and you see how the price reacted afterwards. Also, if you remember, on the daily time frame we had the golden cross of 50 and 100 days moving averages, and it was pretty much the same place when we had these 2 bullish signals from Vortex and MACD. So market reacted quite sharply eventually. So, and the good thing about it is that, for example, on a weekly time frame we still have pretty much of the bullish condition of the Vortex indicator, and MACD is still going up. Basically what it means is that despite on the short time frame we may go lower, but actually this drop will be significant only on the lower time frame. So it doesn't mean that's like we're going lower by $1,000. No, it means that it is relevant on this time scale. So again, if on weekly it looks pretty much bullish, on a daily time frame we already see some weakening of the vortex signal. It means it is going probably down and about to intersect with a bearish crossover. Also, MACD would have to have like a couple of more days with the same trend, and probably it will have the intersection indicating the bearish trend starting to take place. Also, you see the green part of the histogram is almost about to be over. So it depends, of course, on the price, how the price will evolve, but really it is like the matter of the time frame you look at. On the other hand, short time frames will be able to give you the more like faster indication of the trend change. So while on the weekly time frame you may not see the beginning, on the daily you already have some signs on that. But still, the good thing is that on the bigger time scale we are still holding more or less strong. Second good thing is that, as already mentioned, you remember this golden cross over here, and after that we grew quite a lot. So right now the 50 days moving average is about to cross 200 days moving average, and actually this cross is sort of stronger signal even than this one. If this will happen, and if we just need like a week maybe or something in order to see that, then after that we may expect a reaction from the market, from the buyers, like okay, we see this golden cross, probably the price will go even higher. So a lot of people are actually trading in a conservative manner. So if they see these signals, like obvious signals, they act accordingly. So if we'll see that, if we'll not have a massive correction and even the price will be like within the same channel sideways, then this intersection will happen, and basically we may see something like this we saw before. Those like huge correction sideways, golden cross, a little more sideways going up, and then one more rise. So this is the second good thing. Of course, guys, everything which I say is my personal opinion, not financial advice, so please make your decisions on your own. It's your money, you know. But in any case, I would probably look at the current price of Bitcoin as the reference to see whether it will go like even lower, so then we'll have the probability of the huge correction more and more, or we actually will stop at one of those levels, and then it will be a nice correction of this rise, and then we can make one more green leg upwards, and it's really the organic way of the evolution of the market. Second thing which I was going to mention today is some of the altcoins. So you probably already noticed that the Bitcoin dominance grew, and if you would assume that the Bitcoin will not go much lower, then maybe it's time to buy some of those altcoins with discounts. So I will show you those which I'm looking at right now. First, NEO. Why NEO? Because NEO, in my opinion, didn't show that much growth from the previous low which it had in December, and at the same time it shows quite a reliable growth, well, like step-like growth, with the forming certain channels here and here, and it basically forming higher highs and higher lows. And also, despite there is like a disadvantage of entering NEO because it can actually react to the market growth not as strong as other altcoins, I think that it is compensated by the potential of the growth of NEO, and we may actually see the capital finally would appreciate other altcoins instead of those which already made some of the decent rise in the recent like weeks or months. Another one which I was looking at is Monero, and Monero has pretty much similar picture here, with a slight difference that it actually had a little bit of a drop after this growth in December, January, and then after that it has a very, very long sideways price action. But it has very low volatility, it was very calm and smooth, and then eventually we see one rise and the higher rise. So I would expect that it will act very similar to maybe like Stellar, which we'll look at later, and maybe one more leg will be even stronger than this one. Because again, so far it looked very, very confidently holding the supports and making the same channels and so on. And Stellar actually is one of the strongest altcoins, I think, here, because you see it has first much better dynamics of the higher highs and higher lows. It has decent corrections on every rise, so we can buy actually lower and sell higher, buy lower on every of those corrections. Second thing is that the low of Stellar was actually in February, not in December, so it fell much lower than it was at the bottom of Bitcoin. So technically it grew only like, I don't know, 20-50% from this area. So technically I think Stellar in that way is much better than, let's say, Litecoin, which made like 5x, or EOS, which made also something like 4-5x. So the potential is, I think, is much better here. And the last one which I was looking at is IOTA. And IOTA is a little bit of the risky deal here, because you see, again, it looks something in between Stellar and Neo when it started to rise finally, but it's very slow, similar to Neo. It could make a very long sideways price action like Monero. So you may expect that it will rise finally actually higher than the other altcoins. But if it will start to make the same like sideways price action as it likes to do, then we may like miss other opportunities. So it's always risk, guys, to pick one or the other altcoin. And of course, again, we need to look at the price of Bitcoin and decide whether we want to take the risk and enter right now when the market is seemingly red and everybody is scared to buy, or we would like to see the start of the reversal. We will see some bullish signs and then we may enter. And by the way, another signal which worked at least recently is that if Bitcoin will have a sideways price action and at some point altcoins will start to grow while Bitcoin will still be flat, it may be treated as a signal of the following Bitcoin growth, as it was, let's say, before, and was in 2017 and sometimes 2018. So it's actually a nice indication of the like previous behavior of the market, when sometimes altcoins are faster than Bitcoin and we can see such early signals of Bitcoin growth. So I think it's worth paying attention to this thing. Anyway, guys, I think that you will see some more price action when I will upload this video, so hope you will act reasonably and according to the signs, the hints which price will give you at that point. I hope it was useful. See you next time. Thank you for watching.